When I first went to college about a billion years ago, I had this idea in my head that it was going to be very niche, kind of like the Breakfast Club. Everyone would fit into their nice archetypal roles. Every friend group would have everything that was necessary to get them through the journey that loomed before them, leaning on each other's strengths and supporting each other's weaknesses as we all took our first steps in pretending to be adults. So before my freshman year, I decided to try and fill the role that was, in my mind, high in demand, but low in supply. The broody punk. I figured every group needed that one misunderstood individual who was no bullshit and all action. But what I ended up discovering is that life is not as I had imagined, and that wearing all black and shit-kicker boots every single day made me generally unapproachable and insufferable. In a way, this fulfilled my own hopes and dreams, because I had actually become that brooding bastard in the corner at parties that I had always hoped to become. However, it turns out that no one really wants to hang around with Johnny Raincloud on a Friday night after a week of getting dragged around the track by professors and their TAs. Thus, the loneliest year of my life began, and what was worse was that my only company, myself, was the architect of my own misery. My freshman year passed, and during my sophomore year I remember sitting in a coffee shop and deciding that I was done being sad and generally pathetic. I decided that I needed to be myself instead of what I assumed I would be expected to be. And because I had some experience wrestling in high school and a general interest in combat sports, I joined the university's MMA club. It was great. We'd spend all day beating each other to a pulp and then go out for drinks after, and it was swell. During my first few practices, I met someone I didn't expect to like. In fact, I disliked him at first because he was taller, stronger, more handsome, and a significantly better fighter than I was. To this day, I have yet to be hit harder by anyone else, a truly significant feat I think he would be proud of. Still, once I got to know him, it was hard not to like him. He was a friend who had no ulterior motives. He was not using me simply for my company or because it was convenient, but because, I believe, he truly cared for me. And over the course of the next 4 years, we were the best of friends, and eventually, we became brothers. Sadly, my brother lost his life recently, and due to the wishes of his family, both his name and the circumstances of his passing will remain anonymous here. I would share stories of our many misadventures, of our many poor decisions, and moments of laughter so intense that our sides hurt. But alas, I am a selfish man, and these are my stories. Instead, I will tell you who he was. I will say that my brother was a man who sought others not with time to kill, but with time to live. I will say that he was a man who gave all of himself for his friends and family and asked for nothing in return. I will tell you how he was dedicated in everything he did, the kind of man who made you a better person, not only when he was in your presence, but especially when he was in your thoughts, as he is in mine now. He was the backup in every fight I ever had, both physical and mental. He was a speaker for the silent, the strength of the weak, and the love of the hated. They say that when you are born into this world, you don't get to choose your family, that such things are written in the walls of your heart. But I reject that, because it was in him, my brother, that I found strength, love, and a true longing for life. He was the man who made me feel like I belonged when there was seemingly no place for me, and helped me to find my way through some of the darkest days of my life. There is a theory about the end of the universe, that eventually gravity will overpower the universe's expansion and will force it to fold back in on itself until it is an infinitely small point, much like the beginning of our universe. Eventually, that small point will explode in a great expansion and stretch out to the far corners of what will eventually be space and time, thus giving birth to a new universe. The theory goes that this has happened in the same exact way an infinite amount of times, and that every time it has, the universe has played out exactly the same way, like a song on repeat. This is due to the fact that all actions have an equal and opposite reaction, so it stands to reason that if the universe starts in the same exact way every single time, it will play out the same way too. This might make some of you sad, but I hope it's true, because it means that I was meant to meet my brother, and that someday, billions of years from now, I may run into him again at that first MMA practice, where we will finally be reunited, trading leather and blood, and one soul will say to another, "Hey man, how have you been?" And mine will reply, "I am much better. I have missed you so very much. How are you?" I miss you, my brother. My heart is shattered without you, and whiskey will never taste the same again. You taught me many things, how to box, how to laugh, and how to keep moving forward. But above all, you taught me what true friendship was like in the depths of my despair. I will forever be a better man because of you. I regret none of our time together, and even if going into our friendship I knew it would end this way, that I would feel this horrible pain, anger, confusion, and grief, I would gladly do it all over again. If I could be so bold as to ask for anything, it would be one more day so that we could kick each other's asses again and have a drink to celebrate at our favorite bar. That is, of course, if they let degenerates like us in the first place. I think I will be heading there soon, and I will save you a seat and have your favorite whiskey on rocks waiting for you just like you like it. Please know that I will carry you with me always, my brother, and that I look forward to seeing you again soon.